So you thought the court would protect you when you're getting divorced, and instead you end up with high attorney fees, so many delays, and real chaos and uncertainty as to how it is that you're going to be moving forward. I have been a divorce attorney for many years now, practicing in the courts, and I implore you, if you're thinking about going to court to get divorced, please stop. Take a step back and understand that I'm going to go over today all of the ways that court process completely derails, and I'm also going to talk to you about a process that ensures a little bit more stability, a little bit more financial ease, and a lot more certainty when it comes to how it is that you're going to navigate your future, including for your children. There are so many ways that the courts absolutely cannot help you. Number one, court bottlenecks. The courts are so backed up with case after case after case. They have no time to take a deep dive into the needs of you or your family. So considering all of those backups, all of those delays, that is going to affect you and your family when it comes to being able to move forward. So think about what the delay process might mean for you and how much longer you're going to be stuck in court. Secondly, there are so many emotional traps. When you are in court, you often think, I've heard so many people say, that they often think they're going to be able to tell their story, tell how terrible their soon-to-be ex is, and really lay out this emotional trauma that they are undergoing. But guess what? That is not how court works. How it works is you get to present your evidence only at trial, which happens sometimes years down the road, and the evidence that you actually present to the court has to be within the four corners of the law and basically has to be provided through the rules of evidence. You don't get to go in and just tell any story. And in addition, don't think that your soon-to-be ex isn't going to be using emotional games trying to get you to settle. The court system itself is set up to pit the two of you against each other and use these emotional games against each other. And thirdly, there is a smarter way to prepare when it comes to getting divorced. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a highlight of a program that I have put together that can help you save so much time, so much money, and so much energy when it comes to getting divorced in New York. We also have a checklist that you can take with you. Even if you are in court, please don't go to court. But if you are, we have a checklist at the end that you can use to make sure that you're ticking off everything that you should be considering and some spaces for things that even I can't consider because your situation, your family, and your needs are very unique. So make sure that you stick around to the end, figure out what it is that you need, put it on this checklist, and take it with you. I am a New York attorney who has been practicing for nearly 15 years, and while I am not giving any legal advice here, what I am going to tell you is, in my experience, when you are in court, when you're getting divorced, it can be entirely overwhelming, completely encompassing of your emotions and your time and your money, and you can feel completely overwhelmed. I have seen so many families get stuck in this cycle of litigation with no end in sight. You know that expression, there's light at the end of the tunnel? If you're in a divorce battle in court, it never feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel. All it feels like is another motion, another delay, more tactics, more games, more putting off your future for you, your children, your entire family. So I have seen people in divorce cases, whether they are my own or whether I'm just there in open court, I have seen people actually break, completely overwhelmed and so frustrated at the thought of having to come back to court in another 30 or 60 or 90 days to get any relief, to get any answers, to get anything moving forward. Divorce is stressful, and you deserve a plan and a strategy and a roadmap that makes sense for your family that will alleviate that stress. It is normal to feel scared, but divorce does not have to destroy you. Let's talk about 3 of the big reasons that New York court cases are so overwhelming. Number 1, the courts themselves are so backed up. There are only so many judges in the courthouse with a tremendous amount of caseloads behind them. They have dockets that are filled every single day. So if you think about how important your matters are to your family and walking into a courtroom where there is one judge who gets to make a decision for your family who they are going to hear about for maybe 5 minutes. maybe 10 minutes. And then right behind you, there's another family where the judge has to hear for 5 or 10 minutes and make a decision and move it along. Push your case aside and move it along. That's not somewhere where your concerns and your fears and your interests are going to be heard in any meaningful way. Not only can this delay any decisions, but think about how much conflict it is going to create. If you are frustrated, your soon-to-be ex is frustrated. If you are frustrated, your children will feel frustrated. You're not going to have any decisions being made, and the only thing that's going to happen is the conflict between the two of you is going to continue to escalate. It is not uncommon for cases that enter into the litigated realm of getting divorced for there to be a trial date 2 or 3 years later. Yes, you heard me correct. No decisions are being made until 2 or 3 years later. So think about what all of that time does for you. It's wasted time. Think about how much it's increased the tensions. It can be completely overwhelming. A second reason that New York divorces might get very, very messy is those emotional triggers. You know your soon-to-be ex better than anyone. You know how to push their buttons. They know how to push your buttons. And guess what happens when you're in court, when all of that conflict that we were just talking about gets escalated? Button pushing is going to be at an all-time high. And it's actually going to be almost encouraged by your attorneys, by the courts, by personnel, by the entire environment. Being so contentious, button pushing is almost going to be expected. And then add on top of that your soon-to-be ex's promises to be reasonable. I'm going to pay you support. Don't worry about the car. I'll make sure that you get the car turned over to you. Don't worry, I'll drop the kids off at 12 o'clock on Saturday. And then those things don't happen. Well, if any of those things don't happen, the only recourse that you have is heading to court, which we just talked about. The big cycle of what's the relief? Who's going to make the decision? How are you going to hold your soon-to-be ex accountable? There will be real fears about money, about custody, about the house, about the business, about being able to survive on one income in a household. All of those fears and concerns are real. And while I am not here to bash all attorneys, because I know some fantastic litigation attorneys who work in a very honorable and respectful and thoughtful way, I have also been in court and seen many attorneys who see this as an opportunity to continue to turn the flame up, to continue to allow you to get more escalated. Because the bigger the fight, the more they can bill, the more money they can make. Again, I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about all attorneys, but I do think this is something that you should think about and you should consider when you are watching your attorney in action or watching your next door neighbor get divorced and watching their attorney in action, because you are not going to court. And the third reason that New York divorces really get so messy is because people really just don't know. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what it is that they might be entitled to. They don't know how it is that the process works. That lack of education or lack of awareness as to what goes on in the courthouse and how it is that decisions are made can really make things get very messy, and your frustration levels will go from here to above the roof. And of course, that's nothing to be ashamed of, not understanding the timelines, the deadlines, motions, depositions, when things are due, how it is that you have to take off an entire day of work to show up for a 9 o'clock calendar call. These are things that you wouldn't know. You don't do this every day. But that lack of understanding and that lack of awareness as to how it works can really lead to so much more frustration than is necessary. So now you've heard about the 3 ways that divorce can get so messy, so out of control, so quickly. How about some solutions? Let's talk about ways that you can stay out of all of that chaos. Let's talk about 3 key smooth divorce principles. Number 1, educate yourself. You really should know the New York process. You're not going to know every detail, and that's okay, but you should understand it as a whole. Number 2, you should get organized. Get all of your paperwork together, get everything documented, get it in folders, have it all saved on your computer, but as much as you can, start doing that in advance and start making sure that you have everything outlined. And number 3, don't go to court. Use alternative models. Start interviewing and consulting with attorneys, with mental health professionals, with financial professionals, anyone in the divorce space, and speak to them about mediation and collaborative divorce and ways that you can resolve all of these issues without ever stepping foot inside of a courthouse. Think of it as if you are on a road trip. This is your travel plan. You're not going to go from New York to California without a GPS, without a map, without some sort of roadmap that's going to guide you, without the information that you need. This is what divorce is about. Get the information that you need, make sure that you are staying on course, and you have the best roadmap possible. So now let's talk about what smooth really means, right? Because there are always going to be bumps in the road. There is no way that I would tell you or anyone else should ever promise you that you go to divorce mediation or collaborative, it's all going to be smooth sailing. No, that's not the truth. Divorce is about you and your soon-to-be ex and your life and your expectations and how you're going to unravel your entire being as far as your marriage. That's not going to go smoothly. There will be so many hiccups, so many bumps. However, it does not mean that it has to destroy you. Those bumps and those hiccups, if they were in court, they would get amplified to be actual choking hazards, actual barriers to you being able to move forward. So while there will be times of a little bit of upset, there does not have to be utter chaos that's going to destroy you. And realistically, I am here to tell you, honestly, you can shield your children and protect them from any of that chaos, because once they are involved in the court system, once they have their own attorney, or they are involved in any sort of custody battle, the court system, the court case can spiral out of control and your children will be dragged in whether you want them to be or not. So when I am talking about staying out of court, I do highly encourage you to speak to a divorce mediator or a collaborative professional in your area to make sure that you're considering all of the factors related to your divorce. Or if you and your soon-to-be ex can sit down and work out the majority of the issues, you can consider using our Divorce Den Blueprint, which can help you put all of the paperwork together so that you can get divorced and never set foot inside of a courthouse. So some of the ways that the Divorce Den Blueprint can help you is it can create a roadmap for you so that the both of you understand what it is that you should be considering, what it is that you might need for the future, what it is that you want to include in your agreement. It can provide you with all of the documentation that you actually need to complete and sign off on and then file with the court. And the Divorce Den Blueprint can also provide you with resources that you can employ, whether it is a parenting coordinator, whether it is someone to help with the financial assets, retirement assets, whether it is someone who can just help you with support calculations as far as spousal support or child support. We have mediators and we have financial professionals and mental health professionals, among many others, who you can pull in separately, and they can help you create the best plan for your future, and it all gets incorporated into this Divorce Den Blueprint. Again, without you ever having to step foot inside of a courthouse. So if you're thinking about getting divorced, please, first of all, know the rules. Very basically, very generally. We have a lot of videos that we are going to be sharing on our website. Check them all out. Have consultations with attorneys. Make sure that you are looking up the rules and how it is that things will work in your area, in New York State, but make sure that you're fact-checking all of it online. And educate yourself. Find out how it is that you and your family can navigate the court system and what you might be entitled to. Number 2, make sure that you are getting all of your documentation. Keep everything as organized as possible so that if and when the time comes that you're going to move forward with divorce, no matter what model you choose, you have everything. And number 3, certainly speak to professionals about alternative ways that you can resolve the few issues that you might have outstanding. Whether it's divorce mediation or collaborative, make sure that you're speaking to as many professionals as possible about ways to resolve those few issues, and then come back and use Divorce Den Blueprint and get everything prepared and get it filed with the court. Throughout this series of videos, I will give you a breakdown of exactly how it is that Divorce Den Blueprint can work for you, how it is that it can help your family move forward in a respectful and thoughtful manner without wasting your time, without wasting your money, or without wasting your emotional resources. Be sure to go check out divorceden.com and download any of the free resources, including a divorce checklist that might just save you so much time and money. Next time, we're going to look at some of the big paperwork pitfalls when it comes to getting divorced in New York, and how Divorce Den Blueprint can really help ensure that you have just the right paperwork that needs to be filed in order for you to get divorced. Please drop a comment and let us know any questions that you have about your divorce, about a separation. Maybe leave us a comment about what you've experienced when it came to getting divorced in New York. If you found any value in today's video, please like and subscribe, and share this with anyone else who might be thinking about getting divorced or separated, and make sure that they also know about our free resources online.